All right, finishing up section 1.2 here. Again, we got part E here. We have to follow the order of operations. Again, very, very easy to think you want to do the -5 plus 3 first. Can't do that, got to multiply. That's a negative, oops, sorry. -5 plus 18, -5 plus 18 is 13. And then I realized I forgot something when I was listing all my kinds of brackets. Here's another one, absolute value. I should go back up here. Sneak it in here in the middle, kind of. Absolute value. All right, so what this means is I have to do, oh, there's an extra absolute value there. Well, ignore that one. I have to do the inside the absolute value first. So that's going to be absolute value of 6 plus 2, which is the absolute value of 8, which is 8. Now again, I want you to notice that this does not work. Absolute value of 6 minus -2. I'll see a lot of students do this. It's the absolute value of 6 minus the absolute value of -2. That's not right, because this is 6 minus 2, which is 4. Again, these absolute value things are parentheses. You have to do everything inside those absolute value things first. You can't split it up like that. All right, the last thing in this section is 3 other things that you've probably talked about before, but you may not remember their names. So there's the commutative laws, the associative laws, and the distributive property. The commutative laws, there's 2 of them, one for adding, one for multiply. These say that you can switch order. And again, this is something that you knew. 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 8, or 5 plus 3, I mean. Thinking of the answer. The answer is 8 both times, right? Or, of course, when you multiply, it works too. I don't know. 6 times 4 is the same as 4 times 6. That's all the commutative law is saying. Associative laws deal with parentheses. A plus B plus C. It's the same as A plus B plus C. And the same thing with multiply. A times BC is AB times C. You can check. Neither of these laws work for subtraction or division. I'm not going to write that out. Just pick a couple random numbers and plug them in and try it, and you'll find that they don't work. Now you might wonder, well, why do we care about these laws? Who uses them? Well, I use them quite often. Let's say, for example, I'm going to give you a list of numbers here. 2, 4, 9, 16, 15, and 18. So what I'm thinking here is I'm playing a game of Yahtzee. If you've ever played the game Yahtzee, these might be your scores on top. If you don't know what Yahtzee is, don't worry about it. All you need to really know is I need to add up all these numbers. So I'll see a lot of people do this. They'll do 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21, and they'll go and they'll do it that way. Here's what I do. I do 8 and 2 is 10. 6 and 4 is 10. 9 and 5 is 14. 24, 34. So what I really did there is I used the commutative laws. I chose to change order. I chose to put the 8 and the 2 next to each other and add them first and call that 10. I chose to put the 6 and the 4 next to each other and call that 10. And then I kind of did the associative laws where I changed parentheses. Now I said, oh, I'm going to put the 10 and the 10 off to the side, call that 20, and I'll add the 9 and the 5. Of course, I got to put the 3 there, and then I add 64. Okay, so I do that a lot when I have to add a list of numbers. I do that when I'm adding exam scores. I might have a bunch of scores down the side of a page, and I have to add up those numbers, and I'll group them in tens. It makes it way, way easier to add. For multiplying, sometimes I'll see things like this. And again, I'll kind of do the same thing in that I'll choose to change order, not change order, but change grouping, because 5 times 4 is 20. And then 20 times 3 is 60. And I find that easier than doing 4 times 3 is 12 and then 5 times 12. So again, I'm trying to set things up so that I get things with zeros. Makes my life a lot easier. All right. Where will you use this? I don't know, but we'll see it in our work here. And then finally, the distributive property deals with multiplication and addition or subtraction. This also works if you have subtraction in the middle, so I'll write them both down. What the distributive property says is you can take this A and you can multiply it by each one. So this is AB plus AC. And this one would be AB minus AC. Now, when you're only dealing with numbers, maybe this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, why wouldn't you go 3 plus 6 is 9 and then 9 times 5 is 45? Why would you go 5 times 3 plus 5 times 6? I'm not sure. However, that doesn't mean this is a worthless property. This is one that comes into play when we deal with x's, when we're dealing with algebra. This allows us to distribute it through and write that's 5x plus 15. This is going to be a technique we will use to get rid of parentheses. That's really where the distributive property becomes important. All right, well that wraps up section 1.2 for today.